A lot of people say that if they suddenly had $1 billion in their bank account that they would give it all away to charity, but very few people actually put their money where their mouth is. Hi everyone, Ken here. Today we are following Edward and Mary Harkness on their monumental journey to give away all of their money as we explore their mini mansions. Hit that like button to let YouTube know you appreciate historic homes, and let's begin exploring this house. This episode is sponsored by Victorian Society in America. More on them later. In 1874, Edward Harkness was born into an incredibly wealthy family. He grew up in a mansion on Cleveland's Millionaires Row, which was at the time some of the most expensive real estate in the world. His father, Stephen, had been one of the first people to refine crude oil, and as fate would have it, he went into business with John D. Rockefeller and eventually became the second largest shareholder of Standard Oil. This made him absurdly wealthy, netting the modern-day equivalent of billions of dollars every single year. Stephen died when Edward was still a child, leaving him and his siblings with a fortune to share. After graduating from Yale and later Columbia University, he met the love of his life, Mary Stillman, who came from a wealthy New York family. Together they would start off as any other wealthy couple, but in time, they would try their best to give away their fortune, but perhaps that is skipping ahead. To celebrate their marriage, the couple purchased a premium lot in Manhattan at the corner of 5th Avenue and 75th Street to build their first house together. They hired Edward's longtime friend and architect, James Gamble Rogers, to design for them a towering Italian Renaissance Revival mansion to be clad in limestone. Before we head inside, a quick word about the sponsor of today's video, the Victorian Society in America. Are you obsessed with historic architecture? Have you ever wanted to go beyond reading and learning to actually experience historically and architecturally significant sites? With the Victorian Society in America, you can travel to American cities and tour exceptional 19th century buildings, and pursue learning in internationally acclaimed summer study programs in Chicago, Newport, and London. Join the Victorian Society in America this May for an educational tour in Baltimore. The itinerary is packed with exciting visits to key architectural sites, landscapes, and artistic gems. Click the link in the video description to visit victoriansociety.org to register today. Your architectural adventure starts here. Thank you Victorian Society in America for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's begin exploring the interior. As we enter the mansion, I'll disclaim that this is not how it originally appeared. As the couple lived here, they routinely renovated rooms, including removing a stained glass ceiling near the entry hall. Nonetheless, what we are seeing in the reception room is what their guests would have seen at some point while they lived here. From frescoed ceilings to rich walnut paneling, the Louis XVI style reception room was meant to impress even the most critical of guests. The color photo of the library gives us a pretty good idea of what the room looked like while they lived here, though it was described as being paneled in Brazilian rosewood. If we refer to the black and white photo looking towards the fireplace, we can take special note of the many electric light bulbs on the Brazilian rosewood ceiling. It is much easier to picture the adjoining gallery with these same finishes, as the walls here were also clad in Brazilian rosewood. The dining room's walls were clad in polished limestone, reflecting light all about the room from electric chandeliers. Here the couple displayed their collection of antique European tapestries and eventually had the walls covered over with antique velvet. In addition to building their Manhattan mansion, they planned a country house known as Eolia in Waterford, Connecticut. The 42-room mansion was designed by architects Lord and Hewlett and completed in 1907. While the exteriors of both mansions played on themes of Italian Renaissance revival, the interiors could not have been more opposite. The first room we will visit is the living room, finished out with painted wood panels and overstuffed furniture. This connects to the long gallery, continuing these themes with Georgian architectural elements scattered throughout. Let's turn around and head beyond velvet curtains to find the dining room. The dining room at Eolia, while still maintaining an air of sophistication, is far more relaxed than the couple's Manhattan dining room. We find this to be the case with most of the rooms in the house as we continue into the morning room, once again boasting overstuffed furniture and sprinkled with Americana. Even the loggia, with its groin vault ceiling and elaborately carved pilasters, is paired with simple furnishings and dozens of potted plants. As time went on, Edward and Mary continued to enjoy their lavish mansions, but something was missing. With his father's investments continuing to fund their lifestyle, there was no reason for Edward to work. By 1912, Edward and Mary began searching for something more meaningful to occupy their time. They decided to become full-time philanthropists with the sole mission of giving away all of their money, a task that was easier said than done. The stock Edward inherited only made him wealthier by the month, and when his older brother passed away in 1916, Edward inherited his much larger share of the family fortune, just shy of the modern-day equivalent of $2.3 billion. This of course came with stocks in Standard Oil, which once again forced his fortune to grow every month without him having to lift a finger. By 1918, Edward Harkness was named the 6th richest person in America by Forbes magazine with a yearly income of $6.2 million, the modern equivalent of about $180 million per year. At this point, the idea of him giving away all of his money became a nearly impossible feat. He began purchasing art and cultural artifacts to donate to museums. He spent tens of millions of dollars building dorms at colleges and funding scholarship programs. He purchased land for hospitals and funded the first academic medical center at Columbia University. But no matter how much he donated, the money kept replenishing itself as his investments grew more valuable. The couple built several homes all around the country, but their next notable residence would be named Weekend. Completed in 1922 and designed by architects Cross and Cross, the 186-acre Long Island estate was designed not to be ostentatious, but to be livable. The entrance hall, while still grand, was designed to be inviting with a floating staircase sweeping above carpeted floors. The cozy living room was meant to facilitate conversations without excess space, nor a need to display an abundance of artwork. Though the house was not without its formalities, the dining room could still accommodate a dozen or so guests, and the library was finished out with wood paneling and built-in bookcases. When completed, the couple enjoyed their weekends at Weekend, scaling back their lifestyle in an attempt to live humbly. Then, in 1926, Edward's mother Anna passed away, leaving him over $93 million, the modern equivalent of over $1.6 billion. At this point, Edward and Mary realized that they would never be able to give away all of their money. No matter how hard they tried or how many millions of dollars they donated, they would never live long enough to see their bank account reach a $0 balance. When Edward passed away in 1940, it was reported that he had given away over $100 million, though the true figure is estimated to be much higher, possibly around the modern-day equivalent of $2.5 billion. He and Mary never had children, so the majority of their estate was left to various museums, schools, hospitals, and charities, several of which continue to be funded in part by the Harkness fortune. If you had this much money, would you give it away? If not, what would you spend it on? Let me know down below in the comments section, and while you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode of This House.